everybody. I hope that things are going well for you. Welcome back to FTL. Let's continue our previous game. Now, in our last visit with the crew of our ship, which I am the Red Tail, there it is, we picked up a revenge-bent mantis named Vincent, and we lost our noble captain, who was infected with a virulent disease and stayed behind to ensure that our ship's important mission for the Federation could continue. So, our crew is undoubtedly quite sort of dour at the moment, but we have just escaped the first sector where we were fleeing from the rebels, and now here we are in NG-controlled space. And regardless of our loss, we need to continue forward for the sake of the Federation, and so we shall. So we have two pathways to go, these kind of quite a long branching path up here, or we can go down this path. Let's see, this can be reached from any of these, so not a particularly unreachable exit. Let's go down here and then kick around in these beacons, killing time for as long as necessary, and then we can pop up here. So, let's see what awaits us at this next beacon. For once, you see the mantis before they see you. I think in this particular situation, Big B and Vincent, as mantises, know their people well enough to know that if a mantis interceptor has been spotted in NG space, they are here for hunting, and if we let them move on, they will undoubtedly cause pain and suffering among the NG people that live here. So let's step in and put an end to this ship before they can continue their hunting. So, nothing to do but wait for our lasers to charge. Alright, our lasers are ready. On their ship they have an ion stunner and a basic laser. That's not particularly concerning to me, so let's go ahead and break through the shields. Oof, a couple of misses there. We need to get the shields down, so let's do another volley at the shields. There we go. Pretty good. Let's just continue doing damage to the shields. Not a particularly terrifying opponent. We get a substantial collection of useful scrap to fuel a drone part and 20 scrap. The guns on this ship, on our Red Tail, start off pretty strong. Basic lasers aren't particularly powerful, but the fact that we have 4 of them and the system power to power them makes it able to beat down most any ship you can encounter in the first couple of systems. Now we have 96 scrap here. That gives us a fair amount of room to upgrade some things, but let's go ahead and check our map. I wanted to see if there was a store. Let's hold out for a store. We might be able to buy some nice things, so let's keep saving up. You come across a pirate in hot pursuit of an unidentified ship. You quickly receive a transmission from the pirate. Stay out of this fight, and we'll make it worth your while. I think it's pretty clear. The crew, we are not the type of crew to take this bribe. We will help this ship and interfere with this pirate's attack. The pirate ship stops the pursuit and locks weapons onto your ship. So they have a drone here, which is a defense drone, which will shoot down missiles and asteroids. We don't have any missiles, so this doesn't affect us. They do have this one. I'm forgetting the name of that type of weapon, but it's never gonna break through our shields. We have no real concern here, so let's focus on their shields. There we go. And from here on out, it'll be a simple matter of just doing damage across their ship. Just interfering with them. Fine. Our previous offer was not generous enough. Let's improve it. Accept the more generous bribe, which is 6 fuel, 6 missiles, and 13 scrap. That is a fairly generous bribe. 6 fuel is quite a bit. That, especially with being at 21 right now, we wouldn't have fuel concerns for a very long time. 6 missiles would bring us up to 20, which is quite a lot, but again, we don't have a missile launcher, so not a particularly useful thing. I do think that this bribe is enough to sort of make us consider it, but at the end of the day, we're not gonna let these pirates, harass whoever this ship is, so we're gonna continue our assault. The pirate explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material, 24 to be exact. The pirate's victim quickly jumps away before you have a chance to speak to them. Understandable, just wanting to get away with their skins and not deal with whoever this new ship was. Let's continue our jump. You arrive at a green planet with great plains and rolling waterfalls. It would be of little interest to the NG nearby. Well, there is a store, so let's try to build up a bit more scrap before we go there by popping up to these locations. You arrive just in time to see an unusually well-armed NG ship destroying a small pirate craft. A teleporter signal is detected. Intruder on deck. Continue. A young mantis in a charred uniform has teleported onto the deck. He begs for sanctuary from the NG and offers to serve in exchange for your protection. The NG have already traced the teleporter signal and are offering a deal in exchange for the prisoner. Now we can side with the fugitive and fight the NG ship, or we can agree to offer up the mantis in exchange for a bounty. It's a somewhat tough decision. On the one hand, this young mantis has probably done a fair amount that would warrant being taken in by these NG. But this could also be a chance for redemption. Let's side with the fugitive. Oh, there you go. It was a trap. The mantis sabotages your ship before teleporting away. And that did 5 damage to our hull, so we have a substantial amount of damage inflicted on us now. And our helm has been destroyed, but Engineer Zimu, who is now Captain Zimu, will be repairing that. They have 2 anti-combat drones, which are of no concern to us. Let's break through their shields. Oh, that drone stopped one of our lasers. Let's hit the shields, a couple of the guns, and one of the O2. Wow, quite a few misses. Not the most optimal targets by any means, but you know, a simple enough fight didn't really require particular placement. So the ship explodes. 2 fuel, a drone part, and 20 scrap is what we recover from it. An unfortunate encounter. And to me, a bit of a scummy maneuver to set up trap situations like that to see if people will harbor fugitives. Also quite an expensive trap if we arrived to see them detonating the Mantis ship. Wonder if they do that every time. Anyway, now this store is going to be extra useful for us because it can repair our hull damage. Alright, let's bump down here. You see a civilian space station with heavy damage. You receive a message. We've been hit hard by the war. We need more drone parts to speed up our repairs. We'll buy some from you if you have extra. Now this is a great deal for us because we don't even have a drone system on our ship, so we can't make use of drone parts. So let's go ahead and sell all our drone parts for 24 scrap. Thank you for your business. And thank you, because now we're at 164 scrap, which is a perfectly respectable amount. Let's hit the store, and then we can go up to this distress beacon. A message arrives. Your scrap, ours, our weapons for you. You're about to raise the shields when you realize it's just an NG trader looking for a trade. These robotic folk don't have the same social skills that let them get along with the organics. So, they have a variety of things for sale. Some drones, some systems, and some augmentations, and some crew members. So, none of the crew members have any particular skills that they're good at, but still useful to get some extra people, especially the Zoltan, because they can power rooms. We also have a fire suppression augmentation, which will deal with fires on our ship for us. We have a shield charge booster, which boosts our shield recharge rate by 15%, and we have emergency respirators to help my crew deal with low oxygen. There's quite a few things that are appealing here, but I think we'll start off by fixing our ship a little bit. Do we have anything to sell? Not really. I always find the mind control to be a fun and useful system to get. You know, it doesn't necessarily turn the tide one way or the other if you're not specifically built around it, but I think it's pretty fun, so that's something to consider. But I also wouldn't mind getting oh man, this guy's name is Swampson. I don't know why I find that very funny. Swampson. I have to get Swampson, I think. The shield charge boosters are very appealing as well, and the mind control, but we also do need to be upgrading our ship's systems and reactors, so think. Unfortunately, we're not pressed for crew at the moment, so getting these folks is not a super necessary thing. Let's grab the shield charge booster because that's always useful. And then mind control because it's fun. And let's go ahead and upgrade our reactor by 1 step to be able to power that mind control. Now we're going to run into a bit of an issue here, which is we're not going to be able to mind control people without seeing them, and our sensors aren't upgraded enough to see people on the enemy ship, so that's a high priority item for us now. Oh, there's another distress beacon here. Could go here, here, then here, but the rebels would be there by that point. It's very risky. Let's take this distress beacon. See what we can do. A small civilian ship flies over as soon as you arrive. You're prepared to fight, but they just inform you that they're out of FTL fuel and can't jump. Well, we have plenty to spare, so let's be neighborly and give them the fuel. You give them the fuel. Thank the gods. We can finally get out of here. We're jumping straight home, so take this extra weapon. We won't need it, hopefully. They give us a laser charger. So, the laser charger, you can let it charge for longer, and then it'll be able to fire extra times. So, it's situationally useful, but I don't think that it's useful enough to swap out for one of our defense lasers, especially because it requires 2 power, and so we would have to get rid of 2 of our lasers to use it. Let's go ahead and jump to this beacon. You find a rebel automated scout floating near this beacon. Despite its pristine condition, it appears to be deactivated. We can attempt to download its data stores, or just strip the ship for any useful scrap to not risk activating it. Let's go ahead and try to download the data stores. You are able to pull all of the ship's data about this sector. Your map has been updated, and in addition we get 3 fuel, a drone part, and 13 scrap, so that's pretty good. I think it's worthwhile to go ahead and upgrade our sensors to see enemy interiors. Or perhaps not, because we can get around it another way by quickly manning the system and then moving back. So, I'll think about it. Let's jump to the next location. We gotta get away from the encroaching rebels. You are immediately contacted by a settlement. Hello, travelers. Your ship seems to be outfitted for combat. Care to take up a bit of mercenary work? Well, there's no harm in listening to their offer. A space dock is under assault from the rebels. Although the dock is technically illegal within their laws, it's very important for our trade. We'll pay you in fuel and scrap if you promise to save them. Well, maybe it's illegal within just the rebels' laws, but the Federation laws it's perfectly legal, so let's use that justification and agree to rescue the star. More reasonably, I think Captain Zimu at the helm has slightly different motivations than the previous captain and is going to be maybe a bit more willing to deal in the gray area of things. Zimu was an engineer for a long time and dealt in the greasy, seedy underbellies of the galaxy, so they transmit the space dock's coordinates, added a quest marker to the next sector. Now that's nice that it's in the next sector because I was worried we were going to be a little crammed if it popped down to maybe this levels then. But for now, we can go ahead and jump up here. You're greeted by a rare sight, a mantis ship that appears not to have noticed you. Again, we need, I think the same justification as before. We ought to deal with these raiders before they can harm anybody. So, attack the ship. Let's go ahead and get our mind control activated. We will attack this NG because they have reduced combat strength, and more importantly, the mantises have increased combat strength. So, if Dolan is under attack by both of them, there's a good chance Dolan will die in the fight, which will be a good boon for us. So we'll mind control Dolan, and then we will send Aki back to the guns. And I foolishly didn't put together that that would have delayed our laser because Aki contributes to the charge there, but what's done is done. So let's go ahead and fire all the lasers at the shields. Great. And then fire the next laser. Alright, so they are doing some bad things to us. We need to take down their weapons quick. Keep their shields down. And then just finish them off with another volley. And there we go. Another mantis ship brought down. We collect 3 fuel, 2 missiles, and 23 scrap. We have a pretty good fuel game so far. We have a nice reserve there. Let's prep fins into the sensors. And then we can jump here to the store after that, and then to the exit. And well, no, that seems pretty risky actually. Just judging by my eye, there's a good chance that we'll have to fight the rebels on the way out if we do that. So, let's go ahead and go to the store and then the exit. The NG can do remarkable things with just a pile of scrap. The NG Hive at this beacon are selling equipment for just that. Something I like about this game is how minimalistic it is with its sort of world building. You really have to sort of put things together with very little description and very rare references to sort of the lore of the world. So this NG Hive, who knows what an NG Hive is, but it's a cool thing to imagine. A sort of mechanical docking bay full of NG workers and civilians and soldiers all hustling and bustling around. So we have 2 pages here. We have some crewmen for hire. We have a drone control system, a cloaking system, and a hacking system. Then we have some guns and drones, but we are quite low on scrap. First we're going to sell this laser charger, because we don't need it. And then this halberd beam is, I quite enjoy using the beams, but it takes a lot of power, and I'm not sure I want to go that route right now, so let's move on without buying any guns, and instead throw some levels into our systems here. Let's grab a bit more evasion. And then jump to the exit. Now, you've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. Oh, interesting. A rebel space station and single fighter is monitoring this beacon for Federation activity. A number of civilian ships are docked, awaiting inspection by the rebels and possible detainment if they are Federation loyalists. The rebels haven't noticed you yet. Fend for yourself, attack and escape. or bribe the rebels to release the civilian ships, but we don't have enough scrap for that. Or stay quiet and hope they don't notice you. So, this is interesting. I think sort of in the roleplay of this we can imagine Zimu with his sort of more underworld connections and willingness to dabble in, let's say, more pragmatic means of dealing with issues. Zimu tries to bribe the rebels, but our stores of scrap are insufficient for them, and they power their guns. So we have to fend for ourselves, attack, and escape. So immediately we're going to take over somebody on their ship. And then we are going to return Vincent to his position at the engines. And then we're going to try to get these guns down before... Oh, the missile just fired off before. Alright, they have taken down our O2 system. But we have a little bit of time before the O2 drains so much from our ship that our crew begins to asphyxiate, so let's go ahead and just focus on volleying at their ship for now. Well, Bigby can go ahead and get the O2 running again. You have clearly bested us. We merely request our lives. Accept their offer, or we will not accept surrender. They're making a good offer of 7 missiles, a drone part, and 13 scrap, but I think in this situation, with all the civilian ships nearby, we don't want to leave this rebel to harass them anymore, so we will put an end to the ship. We will not accept surrender. And their Rebel Invader class ship falls apart, and we collect a missile, a drone part, and 22 scrap. And now let's get ourselves out of here, but not before we finish repairing the O2 system. It's a bad idea to jump into another fight with damaged systems and not at peak capacity for your own ship, so taking a moment to repair things like that is a good idea. I also, I think perhaps because I'm a little distracted by making the video, I haven't been playing these fights very optimally in some particular ways that maybe I'll get into some of the fun tactics you can do with the power down here in the next fight. I was just realizing how last fight I should have done things a little bit differently, but let's move on to the next sector. We can go to an uncharted nebula or an NG-controlled sector. The NG-controlled sector treated us well here, so let's stay in this civilian space. You have arrived in NG space. The Mantis have been threatening the NG core worlds, but you should be able to stock up for your journey. And here's the quest that we picked up from the last sector, but let's pop down here first. There must have been rich pickings for pirates around here up until war broke out. The pirate you encounter here looks worn down, but hungry. You'll have to fight. Alright, so I'm not going to use our mind control yet because something interesting is about to happen that, well, you'll see. And this NG has arrived on our ship, and actually this might be a good opportunity to try to take him down quick, so let's storm that NG, and then focus fire on the shields. Yes, so my gambit there was to take out the engineer before they had a chance of recharging their teleporter system, and it worked. So we were able to take out one of their crew very quickly. So here's some of the tactics I was talking about, although in a slightly different situation. I am pulling power from the O2 system because we're at 100% oxygen, and so we can survive for quite a while with that draining. And I'm gonna put it into the mid bay to heal up Vincent real quick, and then I'll take it out of the med bay now that Vincent's healed and put it back in the O2. And our lasers are just about ready, so let's target them in the shields again. And then we have this power in the mind control system, so let's go ahead and... Interesting. Let's try something here. You have clearly bested us. We merely request our lives. 4 fuel, 6 missiles, and 16 scrap. Now I was gonna try to kill the crew but leave the ship intact to show you how that works, but this is a pretty good offer, and I think at this point, you know, we're not out to kill every pirate we meet, so let's just take their offer and let them mourn their lost crew member and hopefully turn to a better life. But here we can still see into their ship, where a fire has broken out in there. Well, we can't see anymore, so let's move on. Jump to the, let's go to the quest marker now. Once you arrive at the beacon, you detect a rebel scout assaulting a compound on a nearby desolate moon. We can engage the rebel and rescue the space dock or avoid a fight. Well, this is what we're here for. Let's engage the rebel. Now, the first thing to notice is that this ship has 2 bars of shields. Our basic lasers are going to start looking a little thinner as we're encountering stronger enemies, but we should be okay for a bit. Let's get this person on shields mind controlled, and then let's get our 2 mantis. Well, let's try to provoke a fight where we want it, so let's see if we can get some of these rooms deoxygenated. And there we go, we got him where we wanted him, so. So now, just as before, we killed him before he had a chance to be teleported back onto their ship. But we did take a significant missile impact there. So let's get everybody back in position. And again, I forgot to do the thing that I should have been doing. When that missile was coming, I should have quickly shifted O2 power into the engines to increase our evasion and given it a chance to dodge the missile. But because our ship is so deoxygenated right now, and because the missile has already hit, we're just gonna go ahead and start filling our ship up and target another volley at the shields here. And now with this missile coming, I can show you the method. And unfortunately, it's still hit, but that's alright. Let's try to hit the guns here a bit. Oh boy, another missile. The missiles are pretty killer in this game. So this is bad. Our O2 has gone down, and the room is deoxygenated, so we're gonna have a rough time here. The Outpost hails you. Thank you. I don't know what we did to anger the rebels, but they were ready to kill us. I'll show you our goods and patch up your hull. So we get 25 scrap as payment and 5 hull points repaired, which is good because we were starting to show some wear and tear. And we can now use this location as a store. But we have a pressing issue right now of our oxygen being down. So let's get these guys out. And now we need our O2 to power up very quickly. And there we go. It was a bit risky there, but all in all fine. Or it turned out okay. So let's get Zimu healed up. We can't lose our captain today. Don't want to lose a second captain anyway. And unfortunately, we don't have much scrap, so this store is not going to be particularly useful to us. But yeah, we can't even afford anything here, so let's just go ahead and move on. Maybe fix a few more damage to our hull. And maybe throw another upgrade into our reactor so we can keep this engine powered up all the time, because I seem to keep forgetting to do the quick swap, so I should recognize my weaknesses and pave over them. Alright, let's jump to the next location. Now, I'm being a little reckless by doing that because normally you want to go into a fight at tip-top capacity, and our oxygen is not at 100% right now. So if things got hectic quickly, that could bite me later in the fight, but it's 85 now, and I'd have spent this time talking about it, so that's pretty good. Let's just move on. Let's bump to this beacon. You arrive at a Zoltan research facility. They say they are researching genetic distortion due to stasis sleep and prolonged FTL travel. They ask if your crew has the time to undergo a few scans. Well, no problem in helping out your neighbors, so let's participate in the study. Your crew calmly lines up for the Zoltans to take their readings. After a short time, the process is done. They contact you. Thank you for your participation in our study. Please accept these small cakes made from stiff dough, as well as some scrap. 17, to be exact, so that's nice. We got some stiff dough cakes and a little bit of scrap. And now we can jump to this distress beacon. You arrive at the beacon and immediately detect a pirate ship. It seems this distress beacon was a trap. Now that's a rude thing to do. Let's go ahead and mind control that person. Send Vincent back to the engines. And then they have a flak cannon and a laser gun, so we're gonna try to take out their weapons as quickly as possible. And nice, we managed to take him out, take out the flak cannon before it had a chance to fire on us. So let's do another volley, but throw one at the shields, which misses. Now we'll split them up equally this time. There we go. Doing pretty well here. You can turn on this auto fire function, by the way. The enemy ship appears to be powering up its FTL. It's trying to escape. Alright, we'll deal with them pretty easily, but this auto fire function down at the bottom here lets you basically set and forget a gun, and it'll just fire as soon as it's charged up. And I use it sometimes in easy fights, but you know, if you're in a fight where timing is critical, auto fire can kill you if you forget about it, so I try not to use it often. Please don't kill us, we will give you everything we have. And they are given does offer 5 fuel, 6 missiles, 35 scrap, and an anti-combat drone, which we can sell for more scrap. This is too tempting of an offer to turn down, I think. So let's go ahead and accept their offer and tell them that if we ever catch them using their distress beacon for traps again, it'll be their last time. And another distress beacon right there. Let's okay, this is a pretty safely webbed together series of beacons, so let's hop up here first. A Federation encrypted signal is being broadcast from a nearby planet. We can send an away party to investigate, or we can be cautious that it might be a trap and move on. Well, it doesn't give any information about what the signal signifies, but let's investigate. You find a secret Federation outpost. They are regrettably out of supplies, but are eager to tell you of another secret base. They give you the coordinates. Okay. Now that's pretty good. Or at least it sounds good. So, let's hop up here, get a little closer to the Rebel advance, and then back down to the distress beacon. And then onward to the quest. See how that goes. Soon after arriving in the system, you are hailed by a small cruiser. What good fortune that we happen to run into each other. Nothing personal, but you have some information we need. That's an interesting and ominous phrase. What information might we have? It's certainly possible that we've made some enemies recently. With the pirates and mercenaries that we've been destroying. But this may be related to the rebels. Perhaps this pirate was hired to hunt us down, or there are third parties who want the information that we stole from the rebels about the weakness in their cruisers. So, regardless, we will not let them have the information. And first up, Vincent's gonna run to our sensors and do our quick little mind control, and then back to the engines. Now this is interesting. They've got lasers and an ion beam. If that ion beam takes down our shields, these lasers will shred us. So I think we're gonna focus fire on the guns. There we go. I feel a lot safer about this now. But just to be safe, let's throw another volley there. And then we can try to take out their shields so that we're not losing damage on each volley. The enemy ship appears to be powering up its FTL. I'm not sure if I've addressed this before, but the enemies may try to escape, and you can stop them by damaging their engines or getting their crew members out of the helm. So let's focus fire on the engines for a volley. They send you a message. I cannot believe how well equipped your ship is. Please take this and let us live. 3 missiles, a drone part, and 16 scrap. I'll be honest. I think they may be overestimating us. This could be a photo finish on their escape. They've had a fair amount of time charging, and it doesn't look like we've destroyed their engines. So they could very well escape before we charge up their lasers. And I think Simu does this calculus in his head and decides to take the victory as it stands and take their missiles, drone part, and scrap. And now let's so yeah, there's a store up there. I don't think we have the time to visit it. Let's go to this, well, we could go up here, down to the distress beacon. And then this way. Yeah, let's do that. You see a civilian space station with heavy damage. We've been hit hard by the war. We need more drone parts to speed up our repairs. We'll buy some from you if you have extra, and we'll happily sell our 3 drone parts for 12 scrap. And then down to this distress beacon. You arrive at a smoldering NG research station. Its distress call unanswered. Attacked by pirates or mantis most likely. There may be someone left alive, or else something of value left on board. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. Let's board the station. You sent an away team to investigate, but there's nothing save for the acidic stench of burnt NG parts. This place is dead. A sad sight, undoubtedly. But there have been many sad sights on our journey so far, and will be many more. We must continue our trek. Let's hop over here. A small platform orbits near this beacon. It looks like a refueling station of some sort, and is cheerily broadcasting reasonable prices in a spectrum of frequencies and languages. Well, we have quite a bit of fuel at the moment, but, you know, it never hurts to top off, so let's stop in. And it seems it was a trap. The refueling station welcomes you into one of its berths, and as you hail them, there's an explosion from your engine room. While assessing the damage, you detect a pirate ship closing fast. Now it's interesting, this ship is the same class as the one that we met a couple of sectors, or a couple of beacons earlier, that offered us a bribe to let them live. Now their guns are somewhat different, but perhaps the damage that we inflicted on them destroyed their weaponry, and they had to swap out for different models. I think they will not be escaping this one. I think Zimu is committed to that, so let's put an end to this this pirate's trickery. So Vincent will run over here for a quick mind control, and then back to the engine room to start fixing up the damage. And then we need to take out their guns, so let's focus fire on the guns. Nice, good shot. I don't want them escaping this time, so let's get some damage on there. They offer you some of their cargo if you let them live, not this time. And with that, this pirate has come to an end, and left behind 2 fuel, a missile, and 32 scrap, which indeed is a substantial collection of scrap. Let's get this engine repaired. Now, I'll take this moment to point out how our crew members gain skills over time. Zimu was an engineer, so he has leftover skill from that in the engines. Aki has done phenomenally well with the guns and is max level with the guns. Big B is doing okay on shields, and Vincent is more of a fighter / repairman. Let's continue on to this quest marker. You arrive in the sector to see a small outpost being bombarded by an automated drone. This must be the Federation base you were told about. So this drone has a cloaking system, so it has gone out of sight, and thus our weapons are not charging at the moment. This could be bad. Oh, and thankfully, our expert piloting from Captain Zimu led to a number of misses. So, we've damaged the guns, and now let's try to take out the cloaking device. Ah, not quick enough. They've gone invisible again. But we've crippled the guns enough that they're not a particular threat, and it easily goes down in the next volley, leaving us a tiny pile of loot. And at this point, you contact the station once the rebel ship is destroyed. The lone survivor responds. This base is no longer safe. Let me join your crew and I'll have the station's drones patch up your ship. Now this was quite a tidy haul. 2 fuel, a missile, 38 scrap, a new crew member named GM Foe, which is just a very interesting name, and then 6 hull points repaired. So GM Foe doesn't have any particular skills, but what we can do here is take Bigby off of shields and put GM Foe into shields, because GM Foe is going to provide a power, because they are a Zoltan, and so now they're giving a power to shields, and we can put this excess power into the medbay. And meanwhile, Bigby will hang out in the systems room. We can pop to this door and then escape. That's cutting it pretty close, but I think that's fine. A message arrives. Your scrap, ours. Our weapons for you. You're about to raise the shields, and you know we're still having trouble with mistaking the NG mannerisms for aggression. It seems we realize it's just an NG trader looking for a trade. We have distraction buoys to delay rebels by 1 jump. They have long-range scanners to learn more about nearby beacons, and we have a reverse ion field to help us negate ion damage. Breach missiles are very powerful, but I'm not sure they're what we care for at the moment. You know, sometimes I like to buy augmentations because they open up new options in random events, even if they're not necessarily optimal. So, I think it might be fun to get one of these things, but the reverse ion field is pretty good. Let's go ahead and grab that just for its inherent benefit. And then distraction buoys, because who knows when those will come in handy. Now, that was a tiny bit of scrap that probably should have gone to other things, but hey. Let's hold on to this, I think, for the time being. Maybe shields should be our next focus on what we can upgrade. Yeah, I think shields. And now we can jump to the exit. You come across an asteroid mining colony. They message you immediately saying, "Greetings, our supplies of mining explosives have run out ever since the rebels blockaded the system. Do you have any extra explosives?" They're asking for 5, but we could give them 15. Or we could decline. We're not using these missiles for anything. Let's make some friends here and give them 15 missiles. Oh, this is somewhat sad. Okay, wow. This will help our efforts considerably. What could I offer for your troubles? After some time, they deliver a ship augment for installation on your ship. Now, because we have all 3 augment slots full, we cannot take a 4th unless we swap another one and leave it behind. So, we're gonna leave behind the stealth weapons because we don't have a cloaking system, so they don't do anything for us. And let's jump to the next sector. There's only one option, moving into Zoltan territory. You arrive in Zoltan space. From what you have heard, they anticipated the coming war and made preparations to hold their borders. You deploy your distraction buoys, giving you more time to explore this sector before the fleet catches up. And, arriving here in Zoltan space, let's leave it for this video. Thanks for watching. The crew of the Red Tail continues their journey across the stars, and let's see where it takes them next time. Thanks for watching. I hope things are going well for you.